Hey everyone, welcome back to the Speak English podcast. I'm David, and I'm really glad you're here. This episode is going to challenge everything you thought about learning English.
Hi, David. And hi to all our amazing listeners. I'm super excited about today's topic because it's something that really changes the way people learn and speak English.
Absolutely. Today we're talking about how to become fluent in English without memorizing grammar rules. I know it sounds strange, but it's real, and it's totally possible.
If you've ever felt overwhelmed by grammar books or confused by complicated rules, you're not alone. We're going to show you a better, easier, and more natural way to learn.
And here's the cool part. You already have the ability to do this. You just need the right approach. Today, we'll guide you through that step by step with real-life examples.
So, make sure you stick with us until the end. What we're about to share might be the missing piece in your English learning journey. It's simple, fun, and surprisingly effective.
And hey, before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. That way, you'll get more content that helps you speak real, confident English every day.
All right, let's get started. Get comfortable, grab your coffee, and let's talk about how to master English fluency without memorizing grammar. You're going to love this.
When most people think about learning English, they picture grammar books, long rules, and confusing exceptions. But that's not how fluent speakers are made. There's a better way, and it's all about learning naturally, by focusing on how the language is actually used in real conversations.
That's right. Instead of memorizing grammar rules and trying to apply them every time you speak, you learn patterns by listening to real English in context. Your brain starts to pick up how words work together, without you having to stop and think about grammar rules.
Think of it like this. When you hear certain expressions over and over, your brain begins to recognize them automatically. You start to use them naturally because you've heard them used in the right situations, with the right tone, and with the right meaning.
It's like building muscle memory, but for speaking. You don't need to understand all the technical grammar behind a phrase like, "I've been working all day" to use it correctly. You just need to hear it, practice it, and feel how it fits in real conversations.
This method is called learning through context and usage. It means focusing on how English is used, not just the rules that explain it. It's powerful because it trains your brain to think in English, not translate or analyze while you're trying to speak.
And the best part is, it works for everyone, no matter your level. Beginners can start noticing simple structures, while advanced learners can refine their fluency and sound more natural by focusing on expressions, tone, and real usage instead of grammar drills.
Learning this way is much more enjoyable too. You spend more time actually using English, listening, speaking, and practicing, and less time reading about rules that are hard to remember and even harder to apply in real time.
It also helps reduce the fear of making mistakes. You start to trust your ear and your instincts, rather than trying to mentally check if your sentence is grammatically perfect. You speak more freely, and that's when fluency really begins to grow.
This approach is how native speakers learn. No one teaches them grammar rules at age 2 or 3. They simply hear and repeat what they hear in daily life, and their brains absorb the patterns naturally through constant exposure and repetition.
You can do the same. When you surround yourself with English and let yourself absorb the language, you begin to internalize grammar without studying it. It becomes a part of you. That's how you build fluency, by using English, not just studying it.
Let's take a simple example you might hear in everyday life. I'm getting ready for work. If you hear this sentence in the morning on a show, your brain connects the meaning with the moment. You're not thinking about verb tenses. You're just understanding the situation.
And then you hear something similar later. She's getting ready for dinner. Your brain starts to connect the structure, Someone plus is plus getting ready plus for something. That's a natural pattern your mind remembers, without needing to analyze any grammar rule.
Now imagine you hear, "We're getting ready to leave." Again, a new context, but the same structure. Your brain notices the repetition and starts to store that pattern as a unit. This is how you develop fluency, through real, meaningful exposure, not memorization.
At some point, you'll find yourself saying, "I'm getting ready to study," without even thinking. And that's exactly what we want. You've learned grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation, without stopping to break the sentence into parts or ask why it's correct.
Here's another one. "I've just finished my homework." You may not know the tense name, but you've heard people say it after completing something. The meaning becomes clear through repetition, and over time, your brain understands when and how to use it naturally.
Then you might hear, "She's just finished dinner." Same structure, different subject, different situation. But the feeling is the same. It's recent. It's completed. You begin to sense the meaning, not analyze it. That's exactly what natural learning feels like.
Now, let's say someone asks you, "Have you eaten yet?" At first it may sound strange, but if you hear it enough times, in the right context, like during mealtime, you'll understand and even start using that. Question naturally. That's the power of exposure.
Later, you start using it in your own conversations. You say to a friend, "Have you finished the book?" Or, "Have you seen this movie?" You're not memorizing a tense. You're applying a phrase you've heard many times before, with the right emotion and context.
This is what happens when you stop focusing on grammar and start focusing on real English. The language becomes a tool, not a subject. It becomes something you use every day, rather than something you just study once in a while.
And the more you practice this way, the faster it becomes automatic. Your brain begins to build a natural library of phrases and expressions, all based on meaning and context. That's fluency, and you don't get it from grammar rules. You get it from living the language.
One of the biggest benefits of learning this way is confidence. When you stop second-guessing every sentence and just say what feels right, your confidence grows. You speak more, you hesitate less, and your conversations start to flow naturally and smoothly.
Another huge advantage is speed. You don't pause to translate or think about grammar. Your brain recognizes patterns and responds faster. You become quicker in your replies, more relaxed in conversations, and way more fluent in your daily interactions.
It also helps you sound more natural. Native speakers don't speak like grammar books. They use contractions, expressions, and relaxed sentence structures. When you learn by listening and repeating, you naturally adopt this real-life rhythm and flow.
You also learn vocabulary and context, which means you remember it better. You don't just memorize a word, you understand how and when to use it. That makes your vocabulary more useful, more flexible, and way easier to recall when speaking.
Plus, this method makes learning fun and sustainable. You're watching shows, listening to conversations, and practicing phrases you enjoy. You're not stuck with a textbook. You're learning through experience, which keeps your motivation strong over time.
It also helps reduce fear of mistakes. When you're focused on usage instead of perfection, you feel free to try new phrases, speak out loud, and even make errors without shame. That freedom speeds up your learning, more than any grammar lesson ever could.
You'll also start thinking in English. That's a major milestone in fluency. When you stop translating from your native language, everything becomes more automatic. Your thoughts become clearer, and your sentences come out smoother and faster.
And your listening improves too. When you're exposed to natural English regularly, your ears become more sensitive to sounds, intonation, and common expressions. You begin to catch details you used to miss, and understanding people becomes much easier.
This also builds long-term memory. When you learn phrases by using them, you create emotional and practical connections in your brain. That makes the language stick. You don't forget what you've learned because it's linked to real-life experiences.
And finally, you build a strong foundation for everything else. Even if you later choose to study grammar, you'll understand it much faster because you've already seen and used the patterns in real life. That foundation makes all the difference.
Step 1 is simple. Surround yourself with English. Choose content you enjoy. Podcasts, videos, short dialogues, anything you like. The key is to listen often, even if you don't understand every single word. Just get your ears used to the rhythm of English.
Step 2. Choose short pieces of content, maybe just 1 or 2 minutes long. This helps you focus. Repeat those same clips several times. Each time, you'll hear more details, understand more, and become more familiar with the phrases and structures.
Step 3 is all about shadowing. Listen to a sentence and repeat it immediately, out loud, just like the speaker. Match their tone, pronunciation, and speed. Do it again and again until your mouth gets used to the movement. It's like training a muscle.
Step 4. Write down 3 or 4 useful sentences you heard. Read them out loud, then close your eyes and say them from memory. This helps build confidence and makes those phrases part of your speaking. Toolkit. You're not just repeating, you're owning them.
Step 5. Use the sentences in your real life. Say them to yourself when you're getting ready, walking, or cooking. You don't need a partner, you just need to speak out loud. The more you use what you learn, the more fluent and automatic it becomes.
Step 6. Don't study for hours. Instead, practice in short, focused sessions, 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's enough to create progress, especially if you're consistent. Small daily effort is more powerful than one long, exhausting session a week.
Step 7. Keep a personal phrase bank. Every time you hear a useful sentence, write it down. Review your list regularly and say the phrases out loud. This becomes your personal English toolkit, built entirely through exposure and practice.
Step 8. Record yourself speaking. This helps you hear how you sound and notice what needs improvement. Don't judge yourself, just listen. With time, you'll hear real progress, and that will motivate you to keep going.
Step 9. Ask questions out loud. For example, say, "What time does the movie start?" and then answer yourself. This type of self-dialogue helps you practice both asking and answering naturally, like a conversation. It's simple, but really effective.
And step 10. Make it part of your routine. Connect English to your daily habits. Maybe you practice during breakfast or while commuting. When English becomes part of your life, not just something you study, fluency happens much faster and with less stress.
One common mistake is trying to memorize long lists of grammar rules before speaking. This creates a mental block. When it's time to talk, your brain is too busy trying to remember rules instead of just communicating naturally and confidently.
Another big mistake is thinking you need to be perfect before you speak. Many learners wait until they feel ready, but that day never comes. The truth is, fluency is built by speaking often, not by preparing in silence for months or years.
Learners also get stuck when they translate everything in their head before speaking. This slows everything down and leads to frustration. English has its own rhythm and structure, so thinking in English is key to becoming faster and more fluent.
People often focus too much on learning difficult vocabulary, thinking it will make them sound advanced. But fluency comes from mastering simple, high-frequency phrases that people actually use in daily conversation. Start there and build naturally.
Another mistake is using only one method, like grammar books or vocabulary apps. Real fluency requires variety: listening, speaking, reading, and interacting. If you rely on just one source, your progress will be slow and unbalanced.
Some learners expect to see big results in a few days and give up when that doesn't happen. But fluency isn't instant. It's a skill that grows over time with consistent effort. Small wins each day lead to massive improvement in the long run.
Repeating mistakes without feedback is another issue. If you practice the wrong way, you build bad habits. That's why listening to native speakers and shadowing correct pronunciation and structure is so important. So you model the right language.
Another problem is being afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are not failures. They're proof you're trying. The more you speak, the more you learn. Fluency isn't about perfection. It's about communication and growth through real practice.
Many learners quit because they compare themselves to others. But your journey is unique. Some people learn fast, others need more time, and that's okay. What matters is staying consistent and focusing on your own progress, not someone else's.
And finally, don't underestimate the value of speaking out loud, even when alone. Waiting for a partner or teacher limits your practice. Talk to yourself. Repeat phrases. Create mini dialogues. Your voice is your most powerful learning tool.
All right, it's challenge time. Today, we want you to choose just one short sentence in English that you hear in this episode or anywhere else, and repeat it out loud 10 times. Just one sentence, 10 times. That's where fluency begins.
Then tomorrow, choose a new sentence and do it again. This small habit takes less than 5 minutes a day, but if you stick with it for 30 days, you'll have practiced 30 useful, natural, real-world English phrases. That's powerful.
Want to make it even stronger? Record yourself saying the sentence. Listen back. Repeat it again, but try to sound closer to how a native speaker would say it. Pay attention to tone, rhythm, and natural pauses. This trains your ear and your mouth.
If you don't know what sentence to choose, take one from earlier. I'm getting ready to leave. It's useful, natural, and something you might actually say. Try using it in different situations. Say it when you're going out or getting dressed. Make it real.
And here's something fun. Comment your sentence down below. We want to see what you're practicing. When you write it and say it out loud, it sticks better in your memory. Plus, it might inspire someone else in the comments to try the same.
Remember, this is not about perfection. It's about repetition and connection. When you say a phrase many times and hear it in different contexts, it becomes part of you. The more you repeat it, the more naturally it will come out when you speak.
Keep it simple. Don't try to memorize a complicated paragraph. One sentence a day is enough. Think of it like brushing your teeth. Something small and consistent that you do every day because it keeps things clean and healthy. Same with your fluency.
You can also turn this into a mini routine. For example, repeat your sentence while making your morning coffee or during your walk. When you attach English practice to something you already do, it becomes a habit, and habits build fluency.
You stick with this for a week, you'll already feel a difference. You'll notice your mouth moves more easily, your pronunciation improves, and you start using these phrases without thinking. That's how confidence builds, one day at a time.
So your challenge starts today. Choose your sentence, repeat it, and use it. Don't wait until you feel ready. Just start. We believe in you, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Let's build your fluency, one real phrase at a time.
Today, we showed you that mastering English fluency doesn't require memorizing grammar rules. You can speak naturally by listening, repeating, and using real phrases that you hear in daily conversations. That's how fluency is truly built.
We talked about learning through context, not through rules. When you focus on the way English is used, what people actually say and how they say it, you begin to speak with confidence and flow, without overthinking every single word.
We gave you practical steps like shadowing, using short content, building a phrase bank, and turning English into a daily habit. These small changes, when done consistently, lead to massive results over time and help you speak with ease.
We also warned you about common mistakes, like translating too much, waiting for perfection, or getting stuck on grammar explanations. Fluency doesn't come from fear. It comes from practice, exposure, and the courage to speak every day.
If this episode helped shift your mindset about fluency, let us know in the comments. What was your favorite part? What's one thing you'll start doing today to improve your English naturally, without the stress of grammar rules?
And if you've made it all the way to the end of this episode, it means you're serious about your English journey. Write the word fluency in the comments so we know you're with us and ready to take your English to the next level.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Key channel. Your support helps us reach more learners around the world and motivates us to keep creating practical, useful content for your fluency journey.
Thanks so much for listening today. Keep speaking. Keep practicing, and remember, fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about being real, consistent, and brave. We'll see you in the next episode of Speak English Podcast.